Data from quarters 1 to 3 shows unemployment easing slightly from 12.8% in quarter 1 to 12.6% in the second quarter, before taking up to 13.0% in the third quarter, highlighting fragile job recovery. The report points to a consistent gender gap, with female unemployment remaining higher than male unemployment throughout the period. In his address, government statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisu noted on average the gap stood at 3.7 percentage points, narrowing marginally to 3.6 percentage points in the third quarter of 2025, reinforcing concerns about women's access to employment opportunities.
Female unemployment was consistently higher than male unemployment, with an average gap of 3.7 percentage points across the 3 quarters. And if you look at the gap in the third quarter of 2025, we are looking at 3.6 percentage points.
He added that in quarter 3, 46.5% of employed persons who do not currently do shift work have expressed interest in it, indicating a strong desire for the government's flagship 24-hour economy program.
46 or 47% of workers are expressing interest in working in shift-based employment. So the advice to government is that once that appetite is there, it bodes well for the 24-hour economy. So let's provide the various protection to ensure that people who are ready to work within that environment are protected. Let's provide the standards so that even if the private sector is taking advantage of the opportunity, those standards are observed.
Unemployment pressures were significantly more pronounced in urban areas, reflecting intense competition for limited formal sector jobs.
These are young guys. They are aged between 15 to 24 years. Even if you extend the age bracket, right, who are not in employment and they are not in education as well, and they are not being trained, or they are not in training as well. And that's a very dangerous group, because at least if they are in education, then we can say that they are not working, possibly because they are in education. And also they are adding capacity to themselves, and they are making themselves employable, even though they may not be employed. But if you are not in education, you are not in training. At the same time, you are not in employment. That's very risky. So as much as possible, that ratio should be as low as possible. The fact that we have high numbers means that we really have to do a lot more to bring those numbers down.
We have another announcement to make on Monday involving some high-profile, politically exposed persons that got themselves involved in certain criminal activities. Now, in terms of recoveries, the economic and organized crime has exceeded the 2025 target, which was set at 200 million. Recoveries currently stand at 337.4 million. This figure means that it has exceeded its 2025 recovery by over 133.4 million. This is the highest recovery in the history of the agency. The recovery represents completed cases of both direct and indirect recoveries. Direct recoveries are recoveries that are deposited directly into the exhibit account of the office. This currently stands at about 194 million. Indirect recoveries, on the other hand, are recoveries that are paid directly to either GRA or the Consolidated Fund. This amount stands at 142.6 million. The success story of the Economic and Organized Crime Office shows that institutions matter, but institutional leadership is crucial to the success of the institutions we create as a country. The current leadership of the EOCO shows that when leadership bestows integrity, institutions perform their mandated functions optimally. Through very complex, very groundbreaking investigations conducted by one of Ghana's foremost law enforcement agencies, we have recovered 15.191 million United States of American dollars. Some of that money will go to pay victims that were defrauded, but a greater part of the money will be retained, and then paid into the public kitty. So this is the announcement for today. I wish to take a moment to announce that I have formally transmitted the request for the extradition of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and his chef de cabinet, Mr. Ernest Darko Akori.
Social media went rogue after the arrest of Abu Treka, with some saying Ghana has extradited some 8 persons on the count of romance scam to the US, also saying Ghana's chief attorney should also be in the position to request for the lives of Ken Ofori-Atta in exchange of Abu Treka. On Thursday, December 18, when the Attorney General and Minister of Justice took his turn to brief the country on ongoing cases, I put before him the concerns of Ghanaians, and this is what exactly transpired. How does the Attorney General answer Ghanaians who said the extradition order should cut both ways, such that when the US wants someone extradited to US, we also exchange with someone on Ghana's wanted list, i.e. Ken Ofori-Atta for Abu Treka?
Yes, the principle of reciprocity applies, okay? And I would have been very happy to hand over Abu Treka as I have done, okay? And then get Ofori-Atta quickly in return, all right? But usually, the extradition proceedings take place in a court of competent jurisdiction. And I just got to know, that he has hired some of the top, yesterday, I got to know that he has hired some of the top lawyers in the United States of America, very experienced lawyers to, defend him. Now, I'm not afraid at all, all right? I am not afraid at all. But it means that there's going to be a fight in the federal courts in the U.S. If the district court says no, he will go to the circuit court, all right? If the circuit court says no, he's entitled to go to the U.S. Supreme Court to fight his case. So I cannot tell you that he will come tomorrow or he will come the next day, okay? And I'm just being honest. Accounting to the people means being explicit and truthful.
The Attorney General has also assured of Ken Ofori-Atta's safety and proper or fair treatment should he return to Ghana.
If I were him, this is his home. He should just join the next flight and come here. Under my watch, he will not be treated unfairly. You know, he will go through due process and be prosecuted just like any other person, just like Kobina Edubohin or Hanan or any of the persons that I have filed charges against.
These are the words of the Attorney General. Hopefully, we get to see the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in the country. That is if he is going to oblige to the courtesy call. My name is Shadrach Odami Ejari, Metro News, Jubilee House, Accra.
Hello, good morning, and a warm welcome to Inside Pages. I'm Michael Kofi show running between now and 10 a.m. This morning, we take a look at 2 major issues that have dominated media conversations within the week. First, Parliament has revoked LI 2462 for failing a key campaign promise by the NDC to protect forest reserves and strengthen Ghana's environmental governance framework. Supporters see this as responsive leadership, while critics argue that the revocation alone does not automatically solve the challenges of galamsey or weak enforcement. Next, we are following reports that former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is resisting extradition from the United States. Officially, he cites health concerns for not appearing before the special prosecutor. But in a press briefing earlier in the week, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, revealed that the former finance minister has hired the services of top legal practitioners in the United States to resist his extradition. Does this contradict the minority's stance that the former finance minister has been ready to appear before the OSP and the legal outfit here in the country, as he's now hired the legal practitioners in the United States resisting his return. What does this mean? Can the Attorney General force his extradition to Ghana? How about the argument that Ghana should use the extradition of Abu Trika as a bait to get the United States to help in the extradition of the former finance minister? We'll look at all these dynamics and more on this edition of Inside Pages. The show is big on your views with your thoughts. Welcome to our social media platforms. Metro TV Ghana on Facebook, MTV GH on X, otherwise known as Twitter. And you can also do a simple SMS or WhatsApp message via 0533-292525, 0533-292525. This is Inside Pages. We're back shortly after this break.
Chia winning Nara, me ding edge baby dapa, me dear sonko crane bremo. Now that what you animal would be an egg, Japan, me de bremo. And no, any summer spices in here, and wow, no bebreo, various flavors, Ubenya a yako, Ubenya nemchi, you do good jollof woman, and we get there, Ubenya you do quam, you do for you, hot, nako pibito, na Emma with Gianni, and yet day. When you mean ya, young con your cocotian for Eka.
Down on your communication, you all enjoy Uduba, that Samu spices. What in the essence, no time. I'm going to get it. Samu spices in a Sabi, Daddy, so say. Samu spices, Moon Samu.
Samu spices, Yama chicken.
Samu spices.
In Sanaka in Kitswa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors Alpha Bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDRJ Jadien Kratoyatum.
This Christmas, Cattle's Agri Limited is bringing you freshness, flavor, and festive joy straight to your home and office. Right here in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takrade. Cattle's Agri, your #1 poultry plug. Fresh birds, sweet eggs, delivered with love. Get ready for our juicy Medofopa package. You get 1 broiler, 1 layer, 2 crates of eggs, plus our special chicken spices. All for only 450 Ghana cedis. Medofopa, sweet value for you. Or go big with our Coco Bolobo package. That is 2 broilers, 2 layers, 2 crates of eggs, and chicken spices, just for 800 Ghana cedis. A Coco Bolobo. More chicken, more joy. And for families and corporate bodies ready to feast, try our Odon Soda package. 3 broilers, 3 layers, 3 crates of eggs, plus spices for only 1,200 Ghana cedis. Order now, enjoy more. And the best part is, corporate orders come with free delivery. Terms and conditions apply. Call us now. 0558 376127 or 0241 674268 or 020-331-5557. This Christmas, choose Cattle's Agri Limited. Cattle's Agri Limited. Freshness you can trust.
Hello? Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her 4 TV. 4 TVs? Yes, 4. Okay, I'm coming.
I'm not. Oh, it's like a scandal now. You are using it to spread grandma like that. Spread grandma. 4 TVs, 2 fridges, microwave. Abba, Kojo, why? Do you want to open an electrical shop for her?
Hey, no. It's a regular 100 cedis I send her.
I'm sure it's Uncle Atu.
Let's call him.
Atu? Why? Atu? Why are you spreading a grandma with appliances?
Me? Spread who? When? How? Please, oh, it could be Amma.
Let's call Amma.
Let me call her.
Hello?
Amma, why?
What are you saying?
Appliances for grandma, no. Why?
Hey, it's not me, oh.
Assembly, critical.
Let's call grandma.
Let's call grandma.
Hello?
Hey, grandma. So who is buying all those stuff for you?
Call me Granny Cash. Grandma know the joke, the luckiest. If they do me 5 hours per year. When I buy ticket 100 cedis, I pay them small or big. I automatically get my free gift.
Hey, sir! Yes, so with the luckiest, anytime you buy tickets up to 100 cedis, whether small or at once, you are guaranteed to win a free gift. TV sets, fridges, hampers, airtime, cash. Remember to dial *712#, choose option 4 and follow the prompt. With the luckiest, everybody wins. Even Ghana cash.
In a world where security is paramount, peace of mind should be a necessity and not a luxury. This is why Virtual Security Africa has created a special discount package up to 30% on our 4 and 8 channel high definition cameras. We are more affordable now than ever. With as low as 4,130 Ghana cedis, you can get 4 high definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. With 6,440 Ghana cedis, you will get 8 high definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. Why choose us? Because we offer top tier quality you can trust, lifetime after sale support, 2 years warranty, and you can view our systems remotely. Sidinua PK. Spend less, secure more. Call us on 055-874-0764 and 050-331-4068. Virtual Security Africa. We will beat the advertised price of any security product of comparable quality.
My name is Anita Erskine, and on December 19th and 20th, right here in Accra, Ghana, we will gather for the Diaspora Summit 2025, a defining moment in strengthening the bond between Ghana and her global family. Under the theme Resetting Ghana, the Diaspora as the 17th region, this summit, hosted by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, will bring together leaders and experts from around the world to advance partnerships, explore reparations and heritage linkages, and of course, mobilize diaspora talent for national development. I invite you to be part of this powerful conversation shaping Ghana and the diaspora's future. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center, December 19th and 20th. Do register at www.diasporasummitghana.org. See you then.
Bonjour, c'est ABC from Sénégal. Je représenterai le Sénégal au festival Jollof Festival qui sera le 20 décembre 2025 au Metro TV. Donc j'invite tous les francophones, tous les Sénégalais, tous les francophones de venir manger. I will be at the Ghana Jollof Festival, who will be at 20th December. So I'm inviting all the francophones, all the Senegalese to come and eat and enjoy Ghana food as well as Senegal dishes.
Welcome back from the break. This is Inside Pages, and I'm Michael Kofi Odro. This morning, we're joined by the Honorable Alhassan Momuni, who is the Member of Parliament for Salaga North. Good morning, Honorable, and thanks for the time.
Good morning.
Okay, we expect some more guests to join us through our Zoom platform this morning. But Honorable, before we get into our substantive topics for this morning, Parliament yesterday for the first session closed proceedings. But how has it been, the first session of Parliament, under the return of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the leadership of the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Gbagbe?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to join this program, Inside Pages. This is actually my first time of being on this show. More importantly, this is the first time I have been to Metro TV.
Oh, I see. You're welcome.
Since my return.
Okay.
We were here during the 7th Parliament when this new office was commissioned.
Wow.
I personally was here
to
represent Parliament when His Excellency, former President Nana Addo, was here to join the CEO of Jospon Group of Companies to open this station. In fact, I actually was in Metro when it was in East Old.
Okay, at Labone.
At Labone.
I see.
And so I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for making time. In fact, actually, it has been the very first time I am coming on a media space for a whole year when I am in Parliament. And so it is a great time to be here. I want to thank staff, management and staff of Metro TV for the wonderful job that you are doing over the period. You are bringing governance to the doorsteps of the Ghanaian public. You are educating Ghanaians. You are entertaining Ghanaians. And I have indeed admire you, Michael, so much, far from wherever I am every morning.
Wow.
After 10 o'clock when you host the sports team. In fact, the day I was actually touched was the day you had the opportunity of shaving one of your your guests. When he said, when he said the Arsenal will win the league, and that if they don't win, he should get his haircut. And so I think that I appreciated that. To your question, I think that the return of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama coincidentally occasioned also my return back to Parliament. I was in Parliament since 2013. I lost in 2020. So in 2021, I wasn't in Parliament. And so my prayer was that I should return with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And we equally would have to be very grateful to the Ghanaian people and the entire, nation for the overwhelming endorsement of the NDC and also His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. This indeed gave almost, an overwhelming, over 2/3 of majority in Parliament today. And so I would say Parliament, and for that matter the NDC, will not have any excuse to say that because of numbers they couldn't take certain decisions so far as the governance of this country is concerned. I equally want to thank the Right Honourable Speaker and for me to join the entire Ghanaians to show appreciation to what he's doing for Ghana's Parliament today. In fact, his election in the 8th Parliament paved way for him to be able to put certain things in place, and he's elections or appointment to the speakership in this 9th Parliament has given him that opportunity to be able to concretize the things that he indeed wanted to do. One significant achievement that we would want to acknowledge is that he has made a parliament an open parliament.
Okay.
Which means that wherever you are, Parliament now has a dedicated TV station where you can monitor Parliament all over the world.
Okay.
And so this brings about transparency, this brings about accountability, this equally brings about people to be carried along the works of Parliament. And so I would say that so far, so good. Parliament has been able to go through this session very successful, even though the micro minority will not want to back down, to be recognized, you know, as being the embodiment of Parliament. And so they would usually have their say, and the Parliament, and for that matter, the majority, will also have their way. And so I think that we have been able to achieve a lot. A lot of bills have indeed been passed. A lot amendment has also been made. And I believe that we have been able to ensure that the necessary legislations and the necessary things that we need to do to ensure good governance, ensure the smooth running of this economy actually takes place. We have seen the first budget for 2025. We have just passed the appropriation for 2026, which means that this Parliament has gone through some passage of two budgets. And I can say that we are actually on track.
Okay.
Government has used 2025 to be able to establish the economy. A lot of legislations were put in place for a smooth takeoff of the growth and progress and development of this economy.
Okay.
And so sometimes we would have to understand that if you have a new government taking over, a new government of a political party taking over from another political party, there are a lot of things that you have to put in place before people can feel the exact impact that you want to govern as a country. And so far, His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, and his government have led this economy up to a point that, you know, we can see more progress.
You were part of the 6th and 7th Parliament before missing out on the 8th Parliament.
Yes.
And then you make a return in the 9th Parliament. What has changed since your return? What do you see or feel has changed with the 9th Parliament?
Like I said initially, the 6th Parliament and the 7th Parliament, what I can say significantly has changed is for the fact that we went through an 8th Parliament that was hanged. And we also have the 9th Parliament, which is deeply, you know, been divided by a whooping strong majority and a minority that has lower numbers. And so I now realize that we now have a youthful parliament today who are very vibrant, who are ready to participate in legislation. We have indeed also realized that this 9th parliament, you know, is position itself to be able to put even the executive on its toes. Even though we have the majority, sometimes you would find a parliament, you know, trying to do certain things, and you equally find part of the legislature also thinking members of the executive also thinking other way. One clerical example is this issue of the repeal of the OSP Act.
Yeah.
You understand? Parliament and leadership of Parliament had taken a step to say that, you know, the OSP office has indeed lived out of its usefulness, and so it should be scrapped because there are issues of duplication in that regard. You find out that the executive, indeed at a point, led by His Excellency, also brought up some wisdom, and the leadership of Parliament would have to back down their demand of, you know, presenting.
But that's
presenting
a situation some people described as control of the executive over the legislature because of the alacrity with which the legislature or the leadership of the majority accepted the president's directive.
No. You are putting two different things altogether. Listen, in time past, before the legislation, especially led by the majority, the party in government will make a pronouncement. You understand?
Yeah.
It will look like some pressure was coming from the executive onto them.
Okay.
And so you would realize that once they put that move,
okay,
it will be difficult to back off. But with this situation, it should give the public the understanding that the legislature led by, the majority led by Honorable Ayaraga has some level of independence, you know, to be able to take certain decisions.
Okay.
And so, or else, how would a leader of government who leads government business, you know, will have a position, and another position will be coming from the executive? And like you said, sometimes you would have to reason with wisdom. You understand?
Okay.
And so if you have leaders in the system who in one way or the other has some other eyes, you know, and would see things that you will not see, would engage people that you might not have engaged, you know, bring certain things to bear. It's not very easy to say that the president just issued that appeal, you know, baselessly. He would have engaged them. He would have spoken with them in a way that would get them to understand that we need some time for this OSP office to exist.
One thing that has also been synonymous with this 9th parliament is the revocation of taxes.
Yeah.
We are revoking a lot of taxes, same time where there are struggles to pay contractors, and government continues to talk about how the economy has been messed up and how there are no sitting funds to undertake intended projects. But at the same time, we are revoking taxes which is supposed to generate revenue for government to be able to undertake projects. Is it a matter of fulfilling campaign promise, or these are well thought through decisions that, yes, we do not have money, we revoke the taxes, but there are still other means of raising funds to undertake the intended projects?
You see, I am not a tax person. I am equally not an economist or a financial person.
Yeah.
But my little understanding about taxes is that you make taxes very simple, very attractive to pay. And so if you make some rigid decisions on taxes, it becomes very difficult to implement.
Okay.
And so some of the taxes that have been repealed, you realize that there was huge outcry on their implementation.
Okay.
Especially this issue of e-levy. You understand? A lot of Ghanaians thought that there was the need to have another look at the e-levy, cried for its repeal at the time.
Okay.
You understand? And so you would understand that when that burden was off the taxpayers, you know, they would have gotten the understanding that those other taxes that are very accommodating, they should be ready to go into them. And so you would realize that when you take off certain taxes and you put in place certain reforms, you might not readily see the impact of those reforms that you are putting in place.
Okay.
And so with time, the revenue would surely come to the levels that, you know, we would all be happy to move as a country.
Okay.
And like I said, you see, this first year was used to stabilize the economy.
Okay.
And you realize that government have indeed not gone in for external credit. They have not gone into the local market, you know, to take loans. And so you would understand that we need all these things to leverage on the fact that people have used this period to be able to establish themselves.
Okay.
Now interest rates are coming down. Inflation obviously has come down drastically. And all these things would have built the economy much positioned enough to be able to.
So we are not affected by abolishing these taxes?
I am not too sure about its effect, because government is running.
Okay.
People are indicating that contractors are not being paid. To be sincere with you, if you look at monies that have been paid to contractors, especially road contractors, you know, it's unprecedented. Yes. What people are crying over is the attitude of the previous administration and what they did in contracting.
Okay.
Government obviously will not come and say that you have this number of contracts, you have indeed engaged a lot of people, you know, and so their due payment, just pay them. You need to audit to see the authenticity of these projects.
So that means we have the money sitting down, but it's just a matter of going through the due process.
No, I mean, I'm not obviously saying that money is sitting down. There is no government in this planet that will say that they have excess of money, you understand, to be able to undertake their policies and programs. But I'm saying that because this government is prudent, there are certain things that are paid for, certain things that must wait for payment.
Okay.
And so contractors should be assured that once this auditing is over and you are cleared, you understand?
Yeah.
Surely payments will be done. Not like in situations where people use almost 3 years, 4 years to audit projects before others got abandoned. You know, this is a government that would ensure that expedite action is taken to do this auditing so that they will not lose out. The fact that, you know, people have invested their monies, people have gone in for loans, you delay them, interest will accumulate, and eventually when you pay them, they will have nothing to go home with.
Okay. I
Yeah.
understand that we have the Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, Nana Sapon, joining our Zoom platform. Nana, good morning and thanks for the time. Hello, Nana.
Good morning, my brother.
Okay.
Yes. Good morning.
I'm sure you've been following the conversations. These are preliminary conversations. We'll get into our substantive topics soon. But we're talking about the rising of the 9th Parliament on Friday, December 19, and how the first year has been, especially the first time in the Fourth Republic we are experiencing this level of overwhelming majority as against the underwhelming minority, which the majority will refer to as the micro minority, and some of the issues that have come up. We've also been touching on the abolition of taxes, which has become very synonymous with this 9th Parliament, and how that is seen in a positive or negative lens. Not too sure what your thoughts are on what we've been discussing so far.
Yes, Kofi, I just want to say good morning to your viewers and yourself and your production team. My apologies for the noise around. That is because I'm on my way to the Volta region for a funeral.
Okay.
And you just have to bear with me. But just on the issues of taxes, what I would want us to understand is that the number of taxes that you have on your system does not necessarily reflect or would not necessarily reflect on your revenue mobilization.
Okay.
And what we ought to understand is that it is our ability to be able to include more taxpayers in our system, and also to encourage more people to pay their taxes, and also to be able to block the loopholes, all right, and deal with the issues of wastages. And I think that is the best way to go. It is not the number of taxes that you would have as a nation or in an economy that would reflect in revenue mobilization. And that should put on record. And I think that Atofosin and his team has done quite well. Of course, there were a lot of nuisance taxes in our system. I mean, with the issues of VAT, which has been reviewed, if you were a regular person on Observer, you would have noticed that we were doing what we call the compounded tax on VAT. If you take the receipts, then you look at it and you will know that they were paying double of these monies, and which was a nuisance. If you look at COVID was nuisance across the world. Everywhere was affected with COVID. It was only in Ghana that years after COVID, we were still paying COVID tax. I hope you understand me.
Yeah.
So it is good. It is good that those taxes have all been
Okay. Now let's go to
and we are moving forward. Yes, Kofi, I'm with you.
Okay. Thank you for your thoughts on that. We'll move to our first substantive topic for this morning, where the government has completely revoked the legislative instrument LI 2462, which granted power to the president to authorize mining in forest reserves in the country. This comes after the Environmental Protection Revocation Instrument 2025 matured into law on Wednesday, December 10, 2025, following its laying in Parliament by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa. The move forms part of government's renewed efforts towards the fight against illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. LI 2462, which allows mining activities in forest reserves, has faced fierce criticism from environmental activists and the public for its role in the damaging effects of illegal mining, Galamsey. Let me start with you, Honorable. What does this revocation mean, and what does it do for us in our fight against Galamsey?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that this LI was passed in Parliament, and the reason for this LI was to give room for people to be able to prospect and also mine in our forest reserves. We all know how we cherish our forest reserves, how we cherish our water bodies. And you would realize that this natural resource that we have indeed, apart from the ecosystem that it guards, there is also the need to keep this natural forest for us to be able to resolve our climate change issues that is eating the world up. And so if you would allow people to go into our forest reserves to mine, it simply means that you are eventually creating a lot of environmental degradation. You have also given a room for our water bodies to be destroyed. Because what we must understand is that a lot of these water bodies derive their sources from these forest areas. Yeah. And so the repeal of this LI 2462 has now barred every individual, who in one way or the other has a legal license to mine in the forest, to hold operations.
Okay.
You see, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took over, his promise before then was to repeal this law. And it was known and it was revealed that a lot of legitimate individuals were doing these minings in these forest reserves because they had licenses from the Minerals Commission, and for that matter, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, to be able to do same.
Okay.
And so what was part of the LI, which was more dangerous, was the provisions that gave the president the leeway to be able to, ask people to go into the forest reserves to mine. Okay. Was what was immediately available to be amended.
Okay.
But, Ghanaians and the CEOs, the CSOs, for that matter, still believe that there was more to be done. And government, being a listening government, sought to say that even though this LI is in place, government still has the plans. It still has plans to be able to bring to Parliament a new mining law that would take charge, or that would take care of all these LIs and other provisions and other things that give people the opportunity to go and mine indiscriminately in our forest reserves and even other areas where we find it very dangerous for people to mine, and also try to address the situation where small-scale miners, legally provided, would be given, guidelines as to how to be able to mine responsibly. And so that was what was in place. Okay. That is why government thought that this LI, having amended it, would have given a clear indication that the presidency do not want to have hands in whatever happens in our forest reserves. But it still listens to the people, because I don't want to say that other people didn't listen to the people, but government listened to the people and also still brought the revocation of, or the repeal of that LI, which indeed got matured on the 10th of December this year. And so what this means is that anybody who now finds himself or herself in the forest areas to mine and other restricted areas to mine will now have to find another way of doing their business. And so I want to believe that we have achieved another milestone by repealing this LI. And I want to hope that this new mining bill that has been laid before Parliament, the next session of Parliament would surely look at it. It is my hope that it is expedites, get passed for us to be able to now have a mining law that will be all inclusive, that would be more responsible or responsive, and that would also safeguard our water bodies and also our forest reserves that we have. Because it's like the forest reserves that we inherited from our forebears is gradually depleting. And once we do that and the last tree dies, it means the last man also would have to go.
Okay. Now we'll now get onto our phone line where we speak to an environmental activist, Awula Sewa, coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens. Not too sure whether she's one of the people asking for more, saying that this does not necessarily demonstrate government's commitment to fighting Galamsey and that it is not enough. Or from where she sits, this is a bold step aimed at stopping or controlling Galamsey. Good morning, Awula, and thanks for the time here on Inside Pages.
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay.
Yes, first of all, we commend the Lands and Natural Resources Minister in his capacity acting as Environmental Minister for laying the revocation before Parliament. When His Excellency the President was in opposition, he promised the revocation of LI 2462, not the amendment. So civil society organizations were sharp enough to see that the amendment was not what we were asking for. We're asking for a complete revocation, and we are pleased that that has been done. And so we commend the government for doing that. Having said that, let's be absolutely clear. What LI 2462 does is to stop state-sponsored decimation of our forest reserves, giving people licenses to go and destroy the forest reserves. So we are glad the revocation is in place, but it does not affect illegal mining in the sense that the illegal miners were not waiting for licenses. They were just involved in criminal activity, environmental vandalism. So what this revocation has done, which we are pleased about, it is protecting our forest reserves, protecting them in line with, climate change, and as was rightly said by the Honorable Minister, we should know what forests do, protecting our critical water sources, and so on and so forth. But regarding the fight against illegal mining, that is not what is going to help us. Although what the Minister said is absolutely correct. When you find yourselves in the forest reserve now, you have no excuse because there's not supposed to be any mining activity there. So what we need to do is to go forward. We need to go up in terms of enforcement. As we speak, our mining laws are being flouted. As we speak, there are people on our water bodies. The Ankombra River has been diverted. What is that being done about it? Government seems to be overwhelmed. NEMOS, which is supposed to be fighting illegal mining, does not even have a dedicated number that you can call. But you can see that the illegal mining is even going on in broad daylight, and nothing much seems to be going on. So we are asking for, moving forward, the protection of our forest reserves and have armed responses close by. And we want the forestry guards to be properly armed because they are putting their lives on the line. Some of them have been attacked, and that is not right. We're also asking for NEMOS to be properly resolved so that they can actually fulfill the mandates. And then we are saying that Ghana has a Forest Development Master Plan, 2016 to 2036. We really need to go by it. And hopefully, coming into the new year, the political will is going to be there to actually combat illegal mining. Because from where we speak, the political will does not seem to be there because too many people closely aligned with the government, chiefs, are allegedly involved in illegal mining. And let me say this, we have a case in Anshonshu in the Western North region where the activists were protecting their landscape and the Anshonshu stream, the only source of drinking water in the area. Illegal miners came, they reported to the police, not much was happening. Last year on Farmers' Day, 2 excavators got burnt. The police immediately sprang into action, arrested the activists. This is perverse, arrested the activists, and they were refused police bail, court bail, and they spent about 4 nights in custody. Now that they've been released, the case has been adjourned. As far back as yesterday, they were in court and the prosecutor said he was on national assignment and the case was again adjourned. So activists are of the view that the court system is being used to intimidate activists. And this cannot be the case if we are seriously interested in fighting illegal mining and we want the cooperation of the community. How does the community cooperate when the activists are rather arrested and the illegal miners walking free? I've got a message yesterday from Atronsu that the excavators are back in Atronsu and they were mining all through last night. So I hope that our honorable friend in the studio will be able to investigate this matter and that we have a commitment from government that this cannot happen. Activists in custody, activists being prosecuted, whilst the illegal miners are walking free.
I see. There are those that have also said that the repeal of the law is one thing, enforcement is also another thing.
Absolutely. Our problem in Ghana is enforcement. We seem to be allergic to enforcement. As I speak, we've got wind of the wetlands, being encroached. Buildings are taking place on them. Even the Ramsar sites, which we've signed the Ramsar Agreement, the Ramsar Treaty. But what are the authorities doing? They just lament. Nothing is being done. So yes, it's enforcement. You can have all the good laws in the country. If you're not prepared to enforce them, they are just decoration. But it's even worse when the firefighters seem to be the arsonists. So we are appealing to government to be serious about their commitment to ending illegal mining. It's environmental terrorism. We're thinking of sending troops to Benin when we cannot even enforce our laws in Ghana. When environmental terrorists are on our water bodies and we can't do anything about it. When our forest reserves are still under threat from environmental terrorists and we can't do anything about it. When there are excavators in Atronsu, in Zema East, and we can't seem to do much about it. We really need to get our act together going into 2026.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that there are some activists that have been arrested. While these Galamsey kingpins and illegal miners are working freely on the streets and in our communities. Let me ask you, do you see the will to hold the bull by the horn in the fight against Galamsey?
Sadly, I do not see it. We sent a petition to the Attorney General and also to the Inspector General of Police regarding the Atronsu 5, giving him the sequence of events, how reports were made to the police and they did not much, and the illegal miners continued, and the Atronsu activists were left on their own. And we have not even had the courtesy of a response. I know the Attorney General is extremely busy, but I'm sure his office can at least send a response. We have also sent a petition to the Attorney General, urging him to drop the charges against the Atronsu 5, which we know that there's no merit in it, and that's why the case keeps on being adjourned. It's just being used, it's just unfortunately using the justice system to undermine activists so that they cannot react when illegal mining is taking place. I mean, this is sad. When we hear that the Atronsu 5 have had their charges dropped, maybe we'll see that there's some political will. But as the case stands, it seems to be the case that we are rather focusing on the activists. Yes, in a few cases, we hear so many people have been arrested, but who are these people? The kingpins, those who bring in the excavators, we know them. Those who are actually benefiting from this environmental terrorism, whilst Ghanaians are being poisoned, whilst the number of kidney disease cases have gone up 4 times, whilst there's maternal deaths and deformed babies, those who are actually making money, they are not being dealt with, and it's rather the activists who are suffering the brunt, those who are putting their lives on the line. And we also commend the journalists, Erastus Asare Donko. So we are, so many yourselves, so many of you who have diligently and consistently raised this matter of environmental terrorism. We applaud the press. Without you, we will not even be where we are. Without your dedication, LI 2462 will probably not have been revoked. So respect to the media, respect to the activists, and we are appealing to government. We are appealing to government to be serious about ending illegal mining. We face an existential threat, and we will all be poisoned to death if the government does not take this matter seriously enough.
Okay. Thank you very much for the time, Awula Sewa. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Awula Sewa is coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens and also an environmental activist. We still have Nana Yalsapon, Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, on our Zoom platform, but we'll do a quick break. When we return, we go to Nana for his thoughts on the repeal of the LI.
Hello. Something different is taking shape somewhere. You want to know? Then let's march to the Volta region and make a stop at Ho, the regional capital. From good town roads, a new market, square, a university and an airport, among other things, we hit another junction. Ho is to be host of Ghana's newest plush gated community. To be called the Oxygen City, the project is to be executed by the TDC Ghana Limited under the auspices of the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing. We are in exciting times. The reset agenda is on, isn't it? Make a date with us at 10 a.m. on December 17, 2025 at Ho, where President John Dramani Mahama launches the Oxygen City. Yes, it is something new from the doer.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Chechi woni nara mi din Edeberi Dapa me dia de sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mu ama waduane Dapa na me de bremo eno any some spices de emu wa wo bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie yedi ku jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya yedi ku nkwan yedi ku froye mu ho na kope bito na ema waduane enye de unyimi nia yenkon yenkonko tie nyankofo eka
download your communication ni enjoy oduba that Samu spices. One in the essence don't fight. I'm taking the Dariaga. Samu spices in a BTA daddy so say. Samu spices. Mun Samu.
Samu spices. Nyama chicken.
Samu spices.
Nsaka in Ketwa. Measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof, and the flavors alphabet bebre.
Samu spices. Yes, Saka.
FDIJ jadien kratwe yatum.
Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her 4 TVs. 4 TVs? Yes, 4.
Okay, I'm coming.
I'm not able to.
It's like a scandal now. You are using it to spread grandma like that.
Spread grandma?
4 TVs, 2 fridges, microwave. Abba, Kojo, why? Do you want to open an electrical shop for her?
Hey, no! It's a regular 100 cities I send her.
I'm sure it's Uncle Atu.
Let's call him.
Atu, Asu, why? Why are you spreading a grandma with appliances?
Me? Spread who? When? How? Please, oh, it could be Amma.
Let's call Amma.
Let me call her.
Hello?
Amma, why?
Why saying?
Appliances for grandma, no. Why?
Hey, it's not me, oh.
There are some that are critical.
Let's call grandma.
Let's call grandma.
Hello?
Hey, grandma. So who is buying all those stuff for you?
Call me Granny Cash. Grandma know the joke, the luckiest. If they do me 5 pounds per year. When I buy ticket 100 cedis, I pay them small or big. I automatically get my free gift.
Hey, sir! Yes, so with the luckiest, anytime you buy tickets up to 100 cedis, whether small or at once, you are guaranteed to win a free gift. TV sets, fridges, hampers, airtime, cash. Remember to dial *712#, choose option 4 and follow the prompt. With the luckiest, everybody wins. Even Granny Cash.
Hello, my name is Anita Erskine, and on December 19th and 20th, right here in Accra, Ghana, we will gather for the Diaspora Summit 2025, a defining moment in strengthening the bond between Ghana and her global family. Under the theme Resetting Ghana, the Diaspora as the 17th region, this summit, hosted by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, will bring together leaders and experts from around the world to advance partnerships, explore reparations and heritage linkages, and of course, mobilize diaspora talent for national development. I invite you to be part of this powerful conversation shaping Ghana and the diaspora's future. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center, December 19th and 20th. Do register at www.diasporasummitghana.org. See you there.
Welcome back from the break. You're live on Inside Pages. You can share your thoughts on the things we've been discussing so far. 0533-292525, 0533-292525. You can also join the conversation across our social media platforms, Metro TV Ghana on Facebook, Metro TV GH on X, otherwise known as Twitter. And a simple SMS or WhatsApp message will do. 0533-292525, 0533-292525. Nana Yao Sapon, Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, is still on our Zoom platform. Nana, what are your thoughts on the repeal of the LI banning mining in our forest reserves and also revoking the powers given to the president to author mining in forest reserves?
Kofi, thank you very much. First of all, I would want to congratulate and applaud the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Amaboa, and his team for a very good work done and for adhering to the call and cry of Ghanaians. I think that this was one of the I would say is one of the most important issues that Ghanaians as a whole, we all came together to talk about, dealing with the issues of Galamsey. And we have stated that one step is to be able to, first of all, take away the powers. And I want to put it in plain language. Take away the powers from the president to be the person to be able to assign anybody to our forest reserves to go do mining. Kofi, it's an embarrassment that we would call a place a reserve. A forest reserve. In plain language, if you Google or look into your signature, your dictionary to check the meaning of reserve, it means that it's a special place that we have decided as a people to keep sacred. Not for us, alone, but for generations yet unborn. And then we give a power to somebody we have just elected to take care of us, our natural resources for 4 years, that the person can instruct that those places could be mined. I mean, how irresponsible could we have been that a reserve is allowed to be mined in? Kofi, I think that this is a very good call, and congratulations to all of us who had pushed the government to the wall to be able to revoke this. And it is up to us beyond this measure to be able to fight Galamsey. This does not fight Galamsey. If you are, and I agree with the environmental expert, this does not fight Galamsey. It is just a law that has been repealed. People who want to break the laws.
Okay. Nana,
Kofi, I hope.
We're having challenges with your network, but we understand because earlier you made it known that you are traveling to the Volta region. I'm not too sure if you can hear me, but if you can we say that by this action from the government and parliament, there is any differentiation between the MPP and the NDC in the fight against Galamsey, using the repeal of LI 2462?
Kofi, it shows the political will.
Okay.
It shows absolutely the political will for the president to fight against Galamsey. But beyond that, it is up to me and you. And I've stated that the only way we can fight this Galamsey menace is for us to be each other's keeper, where we will be able to pinpoint the kingpins. I have said that in every district where there is Galamsey ongoing, or we sense that there is Galamsey ongoing, number one, the district chief executive should be fired without hearing. Number two, the police commander in that area should be fired without hearing. If there are national security apparatus in that district, they should be fired without hearing. And this is what would discourage people. You won't find excavators coming into town, and you, a DC, you tell me you did not have an idea about those excavators. You, those people who are supposed to be national security personnel, cannot tell me that you have no idea that excavators are going into the forest zones. The chief in that area cannot whatsoever tell us that they have no idea. Yes, they can say that they have no powers to stop them, but they should be able to report them. They should be able to report them. What I mean, and this might sound a little more of a war drum, but I think that the youth in those areas, if they want their lives and they want those lands and they want their future in those communities, should be able to put themselves together and take action against these Galamseyers. And the courts and the police should be warned. And I'm using these words bluntly. If you cannot go as a police to go and arrest people in the forest for illegally mining, and we the youth take the laws into our hands and we do it, and you come to rather arrest us and leave the Galamseyers. Hey, no, Kofi, then it means that we are endorsing environmental terrorism in our country. And this should not be encouraged.
Okay. Now, let me come back to you, Honorable. Awula made the assertion that she does not see the political will in the fight against Galamsey. Not too sure if you share same thoughts as her, or you have a contrasting view.
Yeah, I think that I appreciate where my sister is coming from. For the fact that you are an environmentalist, you advocate for the safeguard of our environment, the speed at which you would be looking at to be able to protect our environment, you know, if you're not seeing it, you would have this level of lamentation or prejudge as she has done. But I think that the question you also ask the Deputy General Secretary for the United Party, falls into this arena that you want me to go.
Okay.
If you look at...
Whether there's anything that sets the NDC apart from the MPP in their fight against Galamsey.
My brother, if you see the level of devastation of our environment between 2017 and 2024, you would realize that a lot of damage, for that matter, collateral damage, that has happened in this country. And we indeed told Ghanaians that they should give us the mandate to be able to fight illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, in this country. And so if you see and appreciate what government is doing today, there is nothing to compare.
Okay.
The MPP cannot come close to the commitment, you know, in the fight against Galamsey to the NDC.
I see.
My brother, this LI that has just been revoked, under whose watch was it promulgated? It was under the MPP.
Yeah.
That gives unfettered room for His Excellency the President, you know, to be able to assign anybody into our forest reserves to mine. And that is why at a point, when CSOs and people of this country was talking about the activities of Akonta mining in the Atiwa forest and other, you know, areas, the outcry was that Akonta mining was not doing same. Akonta mining had licenses. It took this government and other interest groups like the CSOs to reveal that Akonta mining was doing an illegality in those forests. And that is why this government was swift to bring to book, and for that matter, the arrest and investigation of Chairman Wontumi in this regard. And so if you see what this government is doing, for instance, look at the initial amendments that was made and the final repeal of this act. I am stating here on authority that a new mining law is being laid in Parliament, even though I still have not gotten enough time to look at it. But I believe when we resume, it will be looked at holistically to ensure that, you know, mining is done responsibly in this country. Nobody is against small-scale mining. But what is destroying this country is the illegal activities. And so you would also realize that this administration has called out its own members on reports of alleged to have been involved in Galamsey activities. Citing our national chairman, our national organizer himself, and the deputy secretary or so. Is it the deputy organizer or the deputy secretary? You know, and they are under investigation.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gotten any space during the MPP administration because a lot of known MPP activists were reported to have been involved in Galamsey, and nothing happened. You have seen that there is this issue of land matter in one of the constituencies I think it's in Atiwa, the Atiwa district, where the DC is now trying to explain himself that he's not part of it. There were a lot of DCs during the SY administration who were involved in this kind of activities. And so I want to say that government is committed to fight these Galamsey menace. And for us to have come from this angle where the NPP left off, it will be very difficult to obviously see immediately what this government is doing. And so I still believe that Ghanaians will still give this government some time. I'm not saying they should give them, absolute time. But I want to believe that eventually when special courts are being established, because I'm aware that government is going to establish courts solely because of the fight against Galamsey. And people who are arrested and investigated will be put before these special courts. And that is why I would also urge people who will be put in charge of these courts and people who are also the investigation bodies should, let me put it blunt, should fear God. Because a lot of us are aging and we have given birth to our kids. Our kids will also give them birth to our other generations, yet unborn. And they are going to rely on these same ecosystems that we have today. Okay. So if we destroy this, we destroy the environment, if we don't safeguard what have been bequeathed to us, it means that we're endangering the future
you've spoken
of our young ones.
You've spoken about the political will to fighting Galamsey, and you are clear, you are certain that the NDC has the will to fight Galamsey over the NPP.
Yeah.
How about the practicality of it? Who has done more in the fight against Galamsey, the NPP or the NDC?
You see, we would have been in the early days yet, but they had a whole 8 good years to be able to fight Galamsey.
Okay.
Even though the previous NDC administration also did some work on the fight against Galamsey, the NPP under President Kufuor also did some work on Galamsey. But I believe that the way this government is going with the fight against Galamsey, if we are able to support the government, we are able to bring to bear the understanding that we would want to fight Galamsey, we can do it together. And that is why we should, at this point, try to depoliticize the fight against Galamsey. Because the effects and the impact of the effects of Galamsey is not going to, be on any color. And that is why we must come together as one.
Okay.
And I can see the energy that is in the current minority talking about the fight against Galamsey. You understand?
Okay.
And thinking that government should do more. But they were silent, in those days. And so government should take advantage of this, commitment by the minority for us to be able to work towards that. And that is why I want to commend the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and his deputy, who is a brother. They are doing a lot of work. And I want to believe that if we are able to go through this new mining law, and we are going to incorporate all stakeholders into it. And that is why my sister Ola and Co. should take advantage to be able to also peruse this new law that is on board, make inputs that would be biting enough. Because once you have your laws and the implementation is not done and you are not committed to
enforcement.
The enforcement is not biting enough, then it is as good as not having the law.
Okay.
So
I see that Nana Sapon has a few reactions. Nana, you have the floor now.
Yeah, Kofi, you made him do all the damages before you give me the opportunity to react. We are Ghanaians. These people are doing what they call politics. And listen, Kofi, the issue of Galamsey should not be politicized.
Yeah.
The issue of Galamsey has no scorecard. What he has said. That over 15, 20 minutes, my brother from Salaga North has been talking about. He's just doing politicization of this issue of Galamsey. That is not what we Ghanaians want to hear. I think that the NDC communicators and MPs and appointees should take a cue from what Emmanuel Kofi is doing. If you have noticed, he does not talk about the issue of Galamsey on political scores, but rather he tries to push the government's agenda and strategy in dealing with the matter. That is what is most important. You understand? We spend 15, 20 minutes trying to tell who has done better. Meanwhile, you all are beneficiaries of Galamsey financing. All of you. And in coming days, we would name politicians, constituency chairmen who are involved in Galamsey and making the work of Ama Kofi Buah difficult. We will name all of them, some of whom are MPs. And that is what we don't want to do. But if we are pushed to the wall, we will mention and shame them and cause the laws to go after them. You can't be doing political score point at this dangerous hour. What are we talking about? I thought that he would use the opportunity to even tell us what is in the new laws that are coming that is better off than what was in the old law that has been repealed. As I said, I am happy that the powers has been taken away from the president, because the president whatsoever could have been influenced to issue licensing authorities to people to go into forest reserves. What is in the new law? That is what they should be promoting as parliamentarians and as politicians. What is different? How are we going to empower NAMOS? Kofi, on your platform, I have stated that if we do not kill them, and I'm using my words right, choosing my words correctly, if we do not kill them, they would kill us. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to be at the funeral of Safo, the private soldier also who died as a result of the fight of Galamsey. A young man, the wife, the family. And we want to do political score point with this? No. We can do better. You understand me? So please, when we have this opportunity, let us promote what Kofi Buah is doing right, that we think we can support him to do, the strategies we think we can help him to enforce, and to ensure a victory over Galamsey.
Okay. Nana, your point is well made, but I think that earlier Honorable spoke about it. He spoke about how, what the contribution of this law what the impact of it will be on the fight against Galamsey and its contribution.
I agree, but
yes.
What is the law? What is in it?
Okay.
If we are talking about repealing and bringing the new, what is in the new law? You and I do not have the privilege of having read it, have you? No. But we have had the privilege of having read the old one, and we say it is bad. I'm not saying or putting doubts on the work Kofi Buah and his team has done. No, not at all. Not a single day would I do that. But when we have this kind of opportunities, that is what we should do. I want us to take away the issues of politics.
Okay.
Now, this alternative, whatever that they've started, the one that they were going to launch that took the lives of our brothers. I have forgotten the technical name they gave to it. But if you have noticed, they have started mobilizing these youth, educating them and giving them, and I've assured them to give them that power, that economic power, which has been the cause, one of the main causes of Galamsey. What other strategies do we have aside this, aside NAMOS? You understand me? In dealing with the issues of Galamsey, what are the punitive measures in the new law? That is what we should be promoting. I do not want us to go into this discussion telling we have done better than the NPP. Yes, of course, you have done better than the NPP. That is why we brought you into power. What else were we going to do?
Okay, Nana, well said. Let's do some messages that have come to our social media platforms and WhatsApp line. This one says, hi, Kofi. On my part, the best way forward, Ken Ofori-Atta must voluntarily come down and face the law to save the image of his party. If he sees himself as not corrupt, I say that the MPP as a political party looking for the mandate of Ghanaians to rule this country again must advise Ken Ofori-Atta to avail himself in Ghana. If not, they are wasting their time relative to gaining the confidence of Ghanaians for political power. Papa Bisiu, Sprintex, Accra. Samuel sent us a message from Aroshi and says that, good morning to you, Kofi. I think that the discussions are very deep and it is obvious that the will to fight Galamsey is there, but we need a lot of these agencies, the military, the NIMOS, the police, and other agencies and institutions to be able to also get the will and put themselves into the fight against Galamsey. It's a total waste of time if we, the citizenry, do not see the effect of Galamsey and do not see the need to flee from it. A few are enriching themselves at the expense of the larger population. The few greedy ones must themselves relent in their efforts and have change of mind. Otherwise, there is little any state institution can do. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Kofi Boah, must be commended for living up to his words. But Kofi, passing the law is one thing, and like you said, enforcement is another thing. I think we need a central collaborative effort between the government machinery and state institutions to fight this Galamsey menace. I think we're not setting enough examples with people that are falling prey to the law. We do not even find out what happens to them. The media is not following up on Galamsey cases. If people are punished enough, and the media is propagating the message well, it will serve as a deterrent to the others. But the media is more interested in an accident that has happened on the highway than people that are facing the law as a result of Galamsey. When others do not see and feel how we punish those that are involved and caught, they will not stop. Galamsey has become the order of the day. I am in the eastern region, Etiwa to be precise, and I feel the damage. And the reason I side with your panelists and guests who are using the word environmental terrorism, if there is any worse words, they must be used. This is more like Ghana at war. Okay. Okay. This one says, good morning to you, Kofi. Interesting conversations, but why is the MPP not represented on your panel this morning? The panel is imbalanced, and you have made your NDC panelist have his way. Though you are asking him the right questions, we, the people on the other side, would have asked him. But I still feel a fair representation will do. Okay. We made the efforts. There was another honorable member who had to be in the studio from the NPP. Unfortunately, there was an emergency, and this morning he pulled out very late. So late so that we could not replace him. So you'd have to forgive us, but it is not our fault and we can't be blamed for that. But moving on, we'll make sure that we always have a balanced panel. Okay. Now, within the week, as part of the government accountability series, the Minister for Justice and Attorney General, the Honorable Dominic Ayine, took his stand and made it known that all processes had been completed in requesting the extradition of the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, from the U.S. authorities. He also made it known that the former finance minister was resisting his return by hiring top U.S. legal brains to fight his extradition. Okay. But, Honorable, let me start this one with you again. We were told by the minority that the okay, I understand that we have Nana Yalsapo, I understand that you want to take your turn quick on this one. I mean, we were earlier told by the minority that the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta was not resisting Oh, okay. We've lost him. But Honorable,
Yeah.
back to you in the studios. The minority made us think that the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta has not come down because of ill health and that he's willing and ever ready to come down. Why would he then go to court or seek legal, the services of legal practitioners to resist his extradition or coming down to the country to face the law?
Thank you very much for this question. But before I go there, let me just assure my colleague on the other side, that is the Deputy General Secretary, that if I sit here and I fail to do a little bit of comparison, then I will not be doing that good for myself.
Okay.
Because there is a need for you to know where you are coming from and where you are going.
Yeah.
And for this government to be in government for just 1 year, I want to believe that the coming year will be more vigorous for us to be able to fight Galamsey. I indicated here that the new law has been laid before Parliament, and I have indeed not perused it to be able to know exactly what is inside, because I am obviously not part of the Mines and Energy committee. And so I will still have to get time to be able to do that. But what I know for a fact is that issues of responsible small-scale mining will be addressed.
Okay.
Issues of impunitive, measures would find expression in that new law.
Okay.
Issues that would, incentivize political, persons to get involved in Galamsey would equally find expression. And so I want to say that the fight against Galamsey should be a collective effort by everybody.
Okay.
And for us to be able to do that, we should not relent on our effort to be able to name and shame people who are involved in activities that would destroy our environment. And like we all say, people who are bent and are involved in Galamsey are indeed environmental terrorists. Back to the question that you have asked. I think that everybody in this country should be equal before the law. And that is why there is the need for us to remember that any time that you are accepting a political, office, you are seeking an office to serve this country, you should equally be ready for accountability.
Okay.
And so the issue as to whether Ken Ofori-Atta should be extradited shouldn't have come to this point, because we know that in 2021, when His Excellency the President was appointing his ministers into government, he mentioned Ken Ofori-Atta as his finance minister to continue. And he was absent for almost a year. For almost, let me put it that way, almost 6 months and beyond. And that even made the former majority leader, and for that matter, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, to present that year's budget on behalf of His Excellency Nana Addo. And so we all know that he was absent because of ill health, and that the government still had that opportunity, to leave that office open until he got better and came back to face parliamentary vetting and eventually was appointed. He stayed on until almost 3 years where he was changed. Even at a point when his own members of parliament, more than 90% of them said he should be relieved of that post. You know, the government didn't listen. He continued until a point where Honorable Amin Anta took over. And so, once you are able to do that, you should know that there is a day for accountability. And so, the issue of he's not too well, we should sympathize with him because of his health, you know, is neither here nor there.
Okay.
At least for him to be able to save the MPP as a party and also save his cousin, His Excellency Nana Addo, of total embarrassment.
Okay.
He should be able to come home, you know, to be able to clear himself or equally face, you know, the accountability processes that had been laid.
Okay.
And so I think that if you have nothing to hide, if you think that you have not done wrong, what does it take for you to be able to make yourself available for accountability?
Okay, I'll come back to you, Honorable, but
Yeah.
we have Theophilus Donko, who is a private legal practitioner on our Zoom platform. Nanaya Sapon is Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, also still on our Zoom platform. But lawyer, counsel, please hold. Let me go to Nanaya. Nanaya earlier made an indication that he was going for a funeral. I understand he's arrived at the funeral ground, so we'll let him make his final submission on the subject, and then we'll come to you, counsel. Nanaya, yes, we're on the issue of the extradition of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, where the AG himself admits that the process is a tough one after the former Finance Minister secured the services of legal practitioners in the United States. There are also some private legal practitioners that have said that following the public, what they describe as public trial of Ken Ofori-Atta by the OSP and the AG, it was going to be extremely difficult to get the U.S. authorities help in extraditing the former finance minister.
Yes, Kofi, thank you very much for this. You know, initially when this whole thing started, I had questioned the intent of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin and his colleagues, Sami Darko and Co. I had questioned their intent. I questioned whether or not they had the intention to really bring Ken Ofori-Atta into this country and to make him face the law, and if found guilty, to take back our monies for us. And most people or political commentators didn't know where I was coming from. I had actually also questioned for us Ghanaians to look into the relationship between Kisia Jabin as a person and Ken Ofori-Atta and his family. I asked and I raised these concerns because I had seen into the future what they wanted to do. And I had stated that the Office of the Special Prosecutor, from where I was standing or seated at the time, was playing a little of gymnastics, which was going to make it very difficult for us to be able to deal with the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta. Let us not draw in the Attorney General for now. Who first made this issue a public matter? Who came in to sing and to hold press conferences when it came to the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta? Who did pass judgment? Or who did make statements that made people think that they had already passed judgments? And these are some of the technical things I was talking about then. Because you see, the person is found himself in a jurisdiction where when they feel that there will be an unfair political trial for that matter, it will make it difficult for them to even bring him back to us. He's found himself in a jurisdiction where they would protect the person as against whatever the person has done. once they have that sense that the person will not have a fair trial? Who triggered that signal? Who? We sat aloof, watched the man leave, and then now we come to tell Ghanaians that the security services were uncooperative and allowed him to go.
Nana, are you in any way suggesting that these are gimmicks from the OSP intended to play to the advantage of Ken Ofori-Atta?
I had said it already. Sir, what they are doing, you need not be a lawyer to know and to understand that they are playing dummy. Say when dummy.
Yeah.
Draft.
Yeah.
Dummy. You understand me? That is how I feel. And I question, I said, if it was me or Kofi, if it were you that was said to have done or has been alleged to have done what Ken is alleged to have done, and you were in the heavens and inside the coat and jackets of God, they would have brought you down. And we had experts from Kolebu, from Konfanochi, and from all those big hospitals telling us that whatever Ken was suffering from, which we pray no man suffers it, was nothing that was not manageable in this country and was nothing that should go beyond 3 to 7 days of healing after this type of surgery the family told us here and I went through. You get me?
Yeah.
We should not push this thing to the office of the Attorney General.
Okay.
The office of the Special Prosecutor, when these issues got in, instead of writing to the Attorney General, decided to write to the office of the Chief of Staff.
Okay.
Was I the one that passed the Act 959? So do we not know the laws that the office of the Chief of Staff cannot instruct the office of the Attorney General? In which constitution was Kwesi Ajabin looking through or looking into to have written the letter he wrote to the office of the Chief of Staff? If not for the fact that the Chief of Staff was smart enough to refer the letter to the office of the Attorney General, it would have been said today that it was the Chief of Staff's office that stampeded their efforts to bringing Ken Ofori-Atta into this country.
Okay. Nana, your point is well.
Legal brains, just in conclusion, legal brains before today.
Okay, thank you very much, Nana Yarsapon. Nana Yarsapon is Deputy General Secretary of the United Party. We'll go back to our Zoom platform where we speak to Theophilus Donko, who is a private legal practitioner. Theo, I'm sure you heard the premise to Nana Yar's question, and so I wouldn't want to repeat that. But what are the legalities around the extradition of the former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, and what makes it difficult?
Thank you for having me, and good morning to your viewers and listeners. This morning, I'm a little bit under the weather, so you pardon me for my voice.
Sure.
You see, there are basic principles in criminal trials, investigations and prosecutions, which we call rights, which are fair trial rights. And I'm going to speak based on Ghana law and the circumstances and the situations that prevail in Ghana. The rules that govern fair trial requires that everybody who is alleged to have committed a crime is taken through a certain process, is given certain rights that are not available to any other person apart from a person who has been alleged to have committed a crime. And there are circumstances or situations that a person who is being asked to be extradited will raise issues with him or her being extradited to the country where he is being wanted to be prosecuted. If he is able to demonstrate to the U.S. court, in this case Ofori-Atta, that look, where you are trying to extradite me to, this is purely a political prosecution. This is purely persecution. I guarantee my fundamental human rights. That is related to fair trial. I do not believe the judicial system of the Ghana where you are extraditing me to. So it is fair that Ofori-Atta will definitely resist this extradition process. It is also in his right also to challenge it through the U.S. process, U.S. courts, to the highest court that their laws allow such a person to appeal up to. If he's not satisfied with the district court procedure, he may appeal to the next court till he exhausts all the appellate process. So we should not, I think that Ghanaians are in a hurry to see Ofori-Atta being prosecuted. But once we allow Ofori-Atta to leave the jurisdiction of Ghana, we were going to have a challenge. When did we get to know that the Ofori-Atta has left the jurisdiction? Early this year. When was the charge sheet filed in the court? Even that one, it took the protest and public complaint by the Attorney General that I cannot commence extradition process against Ofori-Atta because there is no charge sheet, the basis for which I'll ask the U.S. government to extradite him to Ghana. Let's look at when the Attorney General made that complaint in public during Meet the Press series organized by this government. It took a whole time before a charge sheet was filed and brought to our notice. It is after filing of the charge sheet that the extradition process was commenced. So I want to state that when it comes to criminal prosecution, it comes with a lot of technicalities. And every accused person or every suspect who is rich will definitely engage experts, lawyers, to defend him or her. So we shouldn't be surprised Ofori-Atta has engaged lawyers to defend him in this particular case. And I want to assure Ghanaians that it is going to take a long time. I want to believe that the way the Attorney General has started, I want to believe that the 4 years will come and go, and Ofori-Atta will not be extradited to Ghana if he has actually employed and engaged the services of good lawyers in the United States to defend him in this case. So we should be prepared. So now the question comes back to the office of the special prosecutor. You see, we have established an office, and we are beginning to see some of the handicaps that comes with the establishment of the special prosecutor. One of the arguments that was made in establishing this office is that the Attorney General is political. But we have come to realize that, look, high-profile cases involving people who are outside Ghana cannot be prosecuted without the help and the assistance of the Attorney General. And I must state that the Office of the Attorney General has an international office who has trained experts, who are people who have done this work in making sure that the bilateral or multilateral agreement involving extradition are carried through. And they have been doing this all over the years. Now it has to revert to the Attorney General's office. So if the Attorney General is alleged to have been political, for which reason we have taken these matters from him, assuming Ofori-Atta has an interest or the Attorney General has an interest in not extraditing Ofori-Atta to Ghana, then we are back to square one. So I want to believe that we should take it slowly. We should take a cup of cold tea and chill and see what will unfold in the U.S. court with regard to extraditing Ofori-Atta to Ghana. If I were the lawyers of Ofori-Atta in U.S., I'll have enough evidence to show that my extradition is political. I cannot receive fair justice in the court. I cannot receive fair justice by the office of the special prosecutor based on evidence available. So I believe strongly that it will be difficult in the circumstances to extradite Ofori-Atta. But on the back of statement made by U.S. officials that they've recognized that the current government is doing well when it comes to international cooperation in the extraditing accused persons or suspects to other jurisdictions. So I think that the only hope I have is the reciprocal agreement that we have there with the U.S. and the recent attempt or extraditions of Ghanaians to the U.S. to face wire fraud offenses. That is what we should rely on. That should be our last hope. But if we want to rely on the technicalities and the laws and the rights available to Ken Ofori-Atta, I want to assure us that it is going to take a long while. Okay. It is going to take time.
Counsel,
but the first question I want to ask is that, are we sure Ken Ofori-Atta is in the U.S.? We don't know the status of Ofori-Atta in the U.S. as it stands now. In between this period, he has acquired U.S. citizenship. Then it is going to be another hurdle for us. Would the U.S. be ready to give up their citizen once he has acquired citizenship? We do not know these factors. So it is going to be a very long challenge.
Okay.
Indeed, if Ofori-Atta is in the U.S., when is the U.S. government going to serve him with the extradition processes?
Okay.
I believe that the Attorney General is saying that Ofori-Atta has employed lawyers. I believe that the lawyers have started the legal processes before even the extradition processes started.
Okay, lawyer, we understand all of this, but if you go to the street, and you have said that our last hope is in the fact that we have cooperated well with the United States in extraditing accused persons here in Ghana to the United States. Now, if you go to the street, there are people who are also saying that, okay, these are Abu Trika and the other people who have committed wire fraud, who are alleged to have committed wire fraud offenses that have been extradited to the United States, could be used as a bait to get the United States also cooperate in extraditing Ken Ofori-Atta. How does this work? Please keep it brief for us because our time is up.
That is why I said earlier on that this is our last card.
Okay.
I believe that the U.S., once Ghanaian authorities, law enforcement agencies are able to arrest and extradite people who have alleged to have committed offenses in the U.S. or against citizens of the U.S., I think that is the only hope. I believe that the U.S.
But is the U.S. binded to do that? Are they binded to do that, or we are only dwelling on hopes and goodwill?
It is hope.
It is hope.
And international cooperation is reciprocal.
Okay.
So it is not something we can rely on completely that the U.S. government is going to do that.
Thank you very much.
The U.S. government.
Thank you very much, lawyer Theophilus Donkor, who is a private legal practitioner, joining us on our Zoom platform and speaking to us about the complications of the extradition request for Ken Ofori-Atta. Oh no, this looks more complicated than we think.
Yeah, I think so. And for me, with my handicap in law, I just believe that if there are other ways to be able to bring Ken Ofori-Atta to account for his stewardship, let's
explore those
avenues.
All right, let me formally invite you. I mean, the stance that we are ready. The house is jamming already. Christmas has come early for us. It's the Metro TV Jollof Festival. It's already happening, and I understand that food is ready. Wow, this really looks good. Hey, Charlie, okay, let's make wado. That's Gattuso. Yes. So this is, I mean, the jollof is ready, and we have been served. In fact, Gattuso, we are glad that, and Dominic, our parliamentary correspondent,
actually is taking in the saliva already.
Because also in the studios, we've been feeling the aroma. Yes, and
exactly.
So, Honorable, please have your.
Are you also handicapped in eating jollof?
No.
As for that one, I have the appetite.
So join us. We are here from morning till late. It's the Metro TV Jollof Festival 2025, the first of its kind. Okay, so this one is what? Red Shito. Nice one. Charlie, wow. So this one, it be ready, or now we for do something. No, so this one, at here, no, I spread that. Sharp. So red, make you tear for me. Because as I try to the thing, Derek take the lead already.
Yeah. I think that we.
Wow. It's ready. Wow. So the situation is ready. Charlie, the food is good, man.
I'm done fasting.
Charlie, It's free. Oh. Every jollof here today is free. The jollof is not for sale. So wherever you are, come. Free food day. It's a Metro TV Jollof Festival. Charlie, as I talk, they chop.
Yeah.
They can just wrap up and then join. Otherwise, before I go finish, everything is gone. So this will be it for Inside Pages and Michael Kofi Odren. This will be the last edition.
But even though I am taking the jollof rice, let me take this opportunity to say Merry Christmas to the good people of the Salaga North constituency.
Wow.
I want to say that I have enjoyed, so far what we are doing in the constituency. My DCE, my constituency executives, my branch executives, they are all up to the game, and it is our prayer that 2026 will do more and do better.
Invite them.
Okay.
Yes, and I think that
for those of them in and around,
I think that I should be able to pack some of the jollof.
Sure.
In fact, the way I have seen it, I have to pack some to the other people who are in Accra.
And red shito. Yeah,
exactly.
even if you don't take the jollof, this one is nicely packaged. So we'll give you some red shito.
Exactly.
So you take to them. Honorable, you should have prolonged your wishes so that I get to enjoy the jollof more. But
I think so.
Honorable is done with his wishes, and as I mentioned earlier, this will be the last edition of Inside Pages for the year 2025. The year 2026 will certainly be better by the grace of the Almighty. We are grateful to the producers and everyone who has worked around this. Derek, who has been producing this with support from Dominic. Honorable Alhassan Mumuni, MP for Salaga North, joined us in the studio. Honorable, we're grateful for your time. We also had Awula Sewa, coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens, an environmental protection activist, joining us via our phone. And then the private legal practitioner Theophilus Donko spoke to us a while ago. And also Nana Yasapon, who is Deputy General Secretary of the United Party. I'm Michael Kofi Odro, and even more grateful to you who made time to join us on this edition of Inside Pages.
Let me take a second to invite Alasan, my research assistant, to come and join the jollof.
Alasan, join us. Charlie, that's if I said, I know the future plan will make a stand. So wherever you are, join us. Is the premises of Metro TV. If you are using the Google map or if you are doing Uber or any of those services, Dr. Isaac Street. Dr. Isaac will bring you straight. Metro TV, we've left Lamoni long ago, 5 years ago. Don't go to Lamoni. We are North Ridge, Dr. Isaac Street or Alisa Hotel. We are 3 houses away from Alisa Hotel. Or if you are coming from Nungwa, Madina, wherever to Circle, you are light at Mobile. Or wherever you are, you pick a car to Circle and then pick Osu or Madina car. You are light at Mobile, about 500 meters away from Mobile. Join us. It's the Metro TV Jollof Festival. Hey, Charlie, somebody take my spoon.
This Christmas, Cattle's Agri Limited is bringing you freshness, flavor, and festive joy straight to your home and office. Right here in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takrade. Cattle's Agri, your #1 poultry plug. Fresh birds, sweet eggs, delivered with love. Get ready for our juicy Midofopa package. You get 1 broiler, 1 layer, 2 crates of eggs, plus our special chicken spices. All for only 450 Ghana cedis. Midofopa, sweet value for you. Or go big with our Coco Bolobo package. That is 2 broilers, 2 layers, 2 crates of eggs.